Derick Samson of Samson Design,
Very cool.
based out of Marshall, Missouri.
And if you wouldn't mind just kind of talking about what are we looking at?
Yeah, so this is what we call the Nightmare. It's a 1949 Pontiac Chieftain Silver Streak. This car started as an original low mile Silver Streak. Danny started on the car about 23 years ago. Z's Radical Rod started this car doing the metal work. It's one of those things, if someone wants to own one of the most unique cars on the planet, this is it, because there's some beautiful cars that we built. We made the top 10 in the show when I was 17. So I decided that I wanted to go back home and build another car. So I built another car in 11 months, just me and my dad in the garage. Came back next year and we were in the top 5, made a custom Rod of the Year finalist at 18 years old. And I never looked back from there. I was going to college for music and decided to hang that up and just do that as a hobby and start building cars for clients. Just over 20 years later, and now we're building cars like this for great clients like Danny. And for me, the exciting part is trying to build something that makes a statement, but at the same fact, it doesn't just smack you in the face, where some cars you look at it and it's like, it's just so much, So it's a big part of building a car over a long period is practicing restraint in the design process and not overbuilding the car, focus on the details, and everything else comes together as long as you pay the same attention to detail to each part. I think a lot of it has to do with balance. You start looking at the car, and if it's a little too heavy on the design on one end or the other, or inside or out, then it's time to tone it back. Especially with colors, you got to be real careful not to just like the orange that we use, the orangey tan color we use as the accent, it's the butterscotch. It'd be real easy to go crazy with pinstripes everywhere and do stuff, but really we tried to just simplify it in the wheels and then the interior color, and then wrap that under the undercarriage and just stick to that. I think that when, over the years designing cars and building cars, you kind of figure out things that you liked from other builds that you did, that you spent a lot of time on, and then other cars, you're maybe like, yeah, maybe I did overdo that area a little bit. So I feel like a car this big, Danny always talks about taking the ugly out of the car. You take the ugly out and all of a sudden you start seeing where you need to add back things to really make it stand out. It's kind of like jewelry, you can overdo something with a lot of jewelry, where this is just little touches through the whole car all add up to make one beautiful statement. But no one part of the car has really more emphasis or attention than another. You start looking at the balance, back to that balance and theme, and it just all starts to, the puzzle eventually, after years of effort and refinement, it all finally starts to fit together. Yeah, I think every car you work on has challenges. I think anytime when you're pushing the limits of design, workmanship, all the things it takes to build a really quality piece of art, there's always challenges, whether it's the design process or designing parts that have to be one-off machined and then fitment things, because that's part of the process. Is when you're building something basically from nothing, there's a challenge in making all those parts fit together and make it look like one designer, one person designed it, and not one shop painted it, one shop did the interior. You get some cars that are gorgeous, but you can tell that there was a lot of different minds doing different parts of the vehicle. And my job as Samson Design, as the owner and the designer, is to make sure that doesn't happen, that it looks like one person designed it, even though it was me and Danny, the owner, and other machinists and other guys that work in my shop and other people that Danny hired to help. My goal, though, is to be the head of the design process and put all those pieces and then rein them all in and make sure that everyone works together in a way that it fits my thought in design, to where in the end, it just looks like Nightmare always was Nightmare. That's the way it always should have been. So he wants to build one more car of this level to compete with, on the show circuit. And it's one of those things, if someone wants to own one of the most unique cars on the planet, this is it, because there's You know, there's some beautiful cars that we've built and designed, and other builders, Chip Deuce and Troy Trepanier and Dave Kendig, other amazing designers and builders. So, you know, to go to SEMA and Detroit and a lot of the big shows that this car's competed at, just to be with those guys and to have a car that we feel, you know, for over the last year, you know, we think it's made a strong statement. The car speaks for itself. I feel like I'm, you know, kind of the brains behind it, but at the end of the day, you should be able to look at Nightmare and it should tell you a story. So, I mean, every one of these super highly detailed builds, there's always things. I mean, you know, as hard as you try to make things perfect, you know, things happen. There's little things as you're assembling and thises and that's and material thicknesses and things that have to be adjusted. You know, when you've got a car that's this big and so many parts and it all goes together and back apart over years of this and that, in a final assembly, there's always little things that come up, little changes, little minute things. But, you know, we plan for that, though. We always know there's going to be built-in things that happen because we've built, you know, over 50 cars of what we like to think a pretty high level over the years. And, you know, even though you try to make changes along the way of each build, you know, a car this radical and this much metal work, and the other guys that worked on it even before we got it, you know, we kind of had to pick up where they left off. So there was lots of things that we wanted to even take to an even higher level. So there's always things you go back and change and fix. But when it came time to paint the car, I mean, I painted it 3 full times, sand it, re-clear, sand, re-clear, did that a full 3. It took me 2 months just to do the exterior paint work, to try to get the paint, just to get it flat, even after the body work was done, just trying to get a perfectly straight, flat, black, deep paint finish. Now this is the Chroma Premier 72-500 clear from Axalta, which was formerly the DuPont company. And then actually after we cleared it, you know, 2 times with that clear, we came in with another clear over the top of that clear that was just a little bit thinner to use for the color sanding process. The first 2 clears were to get that super, super deep, straight black, you know, effect. And then the last clear was basically just to give us the mill thickness for the sanding and polishing process. So we kind of use paint like still in the bodywork process. We feel like that you get it as perfect as you can, and then we actually use the paint as well to sand flat and use that, and then look at the reflections and look at how the car looks. And then we come back and keep putting more clear to get the effect we want to try to achieve that mild deep finish. So yeah, so it's all base coat, clear coat. So you put the base to get the color, and then, you know, numerous layers of clear. And the reason we don't just put all the clear on and then sand and polish it is it just builds up too much thickness and too much solvent all at once. So what happens is it might look good now, then you put it out in the sun and it bakes, and you start seeing all this crazy stuff happen. So if you do it in sessions and let the clear block it and breathe and gas off in the booth, turn the heat up 120 degrees roughly, it lets it have a chance to kind of cure out, because we're not only trying to achieve show quality finish today, we're looking for longevity over a long period of time. Derick Samson of Samson Design.
Very cool.
Based out of Marshall, Missouri.
And if you wouldn't mind just kind of talking about what are we looking at?
Yeah, so this is what we call the Nightmare. It's a 1949 Pontiac Chieftain Silver Streak. This car started as an original low mile Silver Streak. Danny started on the car about 23 years ago. These Radical Rods started this car doing the metal work. When the car was ready to be finished, Danny contacted me about helping finish the design on the car. We had had some cars in the grade 8 at Detroit for the Riddler Award. He really liked our styling and attention to detail. He also likes that we do all of our own finish work in-house, including sewing and upholstery and design. So he liked the idea of the car would be in one shop for all of the finish work and not taking it around to additional shops to complete the vehicle. So with Danny's help, he hired some other individuals to help as well. And then my great staff at Samson Design, we all work together cohesively, me as the lead designer, but a lot of really talented hands behind us to create Nightmare. From the chop top to all the metal work on this car, I mean, this car has been touched every square inch of the car, all new floorboards. It's channeled over the custom chassis. I mean, years of body work and finish work to get this car laser straight. From the flush mounted glass to where actually it's flush inside and out. There's no moldings around the windows on the inside. I mean, almost every car of this area all have little moldings, reveal moldings with screws in them. This doesn't have that. So all the metal work was finished, and then we came in and did all the body work to fit everything nice. And then a gentleman in Kansas City, George, did the glass work, and then we went around and body worked and fit all the glass. The whole underneath this car is finished to a show level. So after all the metal work was done, we went in, and there's over 30 custom one-off sheet metal panels that fit into the chassis and the body underneath. And the goal was we wanted the paint finish under the car just as high quality as the exterior. Because when we're going to a show like Detroit for the Riddler Award, every square inch of the car has to be finished to a high level. I mean, even the block on this car was ground smooth, the heads, supercharger, deburred, no rough edges, no seams on anything. And then we actually base coat, clear coated, and then wet sanded and polished the entire powertrain. So the transmission, the motor, the heads, every part of the motor is wet sanded and polished. The brakes, even the back sides of the spindles are polished. The goal is that we wanted to be, if you took a part off this car and judged it, that whether it was the oil pan or a bracket or up in the wheel wells, that is what we're judging the whole car off of. We wanted the quality of the car to be the same level everywhere, and we feel that with a lot of help from a lot of great people, we've been able to accomplish that. So when you look at this car, like I was saying earlier, we don't want anything on the car to stand out more than the next part of the design. So that's why one reason it took so long is the cohesive thought process was a long one. So my job was to rein all that in and put all the ideas into one package to create Nightmare. From the one-off wheels to even the tires are custom made. We had tires sent, and they ground all the lettering off and actually made custom one-off white walls and put them into the 19-inch tires. So we didn't want any part on the car to look like you just took it off a shelf and bolted it on the car. So everything from the entire interior is handmade, from the custom shaped seats, all the emblems, moldings, all the sill plates. I mean, every part of the interior is completely custom one-off to the steering wheel. That was machined by Schott wheels. It was the first steering wheel they ever made. So I had to actually make tooling to be able to chuck it up into the equipment to CNC machine and mill the steering wheel to match the wheels. So down to the custom one-off gauges from Dakota Digital to, the pinstriping, all the colors, everything matches to the stitching in the seats. Looks like feathers in the Indian headdress, to the custom one-off machine Indian head that goes from the front door all the way into the back door panel, which matches all the rest of the emblems and the wheels and the trunk. Even underneath the front pan, there's an Indian head in the front panel under the radiator that wraps under the car.
And now the whole car is shaped like the Indian head, correct?
It is. So when the car's all closed up and you look at the Indian head, you can see the face and you can see the chin and the bumper, then the headlight and the nose, and then you see the windshield as the eyes, then you see the big long headdress all the way back to the rear bumper. So the whole idea was when the artist designed the Indian head, is that we wanted it to look like the car. So when the car is all closed up and you see the Indian head on the custom one-off machine center caps that look like hubcaps, is that you're mimicking that shape. So all the lines flow off of that Indian head profile matches the car.
What would you put into it for powertrain, brakes, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So it's got a supercharged LSA motor, makes about 720 horsepower. It's got a 6-speed automatic transmission, custom one-off rear end. Again, everything's polished and fully detailed, but it's got big giant Wilwood brakes that we smoothed off and put Nightmare on the calipers. So not only does this car look beautiful and show quality, it drives and functions as well.
What's your personal favorite thing about the car? Like when you see it, you're like, this makes me feel complete, like I could walk away from it.
Yeah, I think it's just, again, back to that cohesive design. This car has a very unique, I don't know any other car on the show world right now that just has this really sleek look that Nightmare does. I think just the way we designed the theme with the Indian head and the colors and how it all complements each other. It just, for some reason, when I walk away from this car, it leaves me feeling complete, like literally, like there's not really anything else in the design I would want to change. Anything I wanted to change, I changed before we finished the car. So there's always little things that I think I could polish here a little more, or maybe, you know, tweak little tiny little things, you know, like, well, maybe I need to turn this bolt a little more so it's in line with it, you know, little tiny details. But overall, I had the time and the ability with Danny, the great client, to allow me to really give my all and give, you know, give Nightmare everything I had. So
Very cool.
My name is Danny Asher.
Danny Asher. And what is this vehicle that we're looking at today?
This is a 1949 Pontiac Chieftain. It's called Nightmare.
Very cool. And is this something stock you could buy at a factory, or?
Definitely not. 1949, you could have bought it. It would have been a little different, a little modified from there. The car's got a GM. It's got a LSA Supercharged with a 6L90 6-speed automatic transmission in it. It's got a 4-inch aluminum dry shaft, fully polished. It's got a custom Currie rear end underneath of it. It's got Schott wheels on it. The wheels have been fabricated specifically to our specifications. They built one off along with the steering wheel in the car.